I grew up in New Jersey, so the Jersey Devil isn't just some random cryptid, it's ours. It's the thing you joke about as a kid until you're driving through the Pine Barrens at night and suddenly it's not funny anymore. So today, I want to dig into that feeling, where the myth comes from, why it sticks with people, and why it still feels just a little too real. Let's dive in. There's something in the woods of New Jersey that people have been reporting for over 250 years. And the strange part is, the descriptions never really change. Same creature, same sound, same feeling. And when stories stay consistent for that long, you have to start asking, is this really just a legend? Or is there something out there people keep running into? Tonight, we're talking about the Jersey Devil, and why this story might be a lot more real than people want it to be. Before we even get into the story, you need to understand the setting. The Pine Barrens aren't just some woods. They stretch across over 1 million acres. Dense, quiet, a lot of it completely untouched. There are roads, but there are also huge sections where, if you go in far enough, you're not going to see anyone else. No streetlights, no houses, just trees in every direction. And at night, it's completely dark. The kind of dark where your brain starts filling in shapes that really aren't there, or maybe are. So if something did live out there, you'd have plenty of space to never find it. The story begins in 1735. A woman known as Mother Leeds is about to give birth to her 13th child. Now, depending on who you ask, she was overwhelmed, exhausted, or just completely done. 13 children in the 1700s, I mean, fair. But in a moment of frustration, she says something that ends up defining the entire legend. She says, and I quote, "Let this one be the devil." And that's where things go very, very wrong. According to the story, the baby is born normally at first. Everything seems fine until it isn't. The child begins to change. Its body twists unnaturally, bones cracking, limbs stretching into something not human. Wings tear out from its back. Its feet become hooves. Its face no longer looks like a child at all, more like something animal, something wrong. And then it screams. Not like a baby, not like anything familiar, something distorted. And before anyone can stop it, it flies up the chimney and disappears into the woods. And that's where the story should end, but it doesn't. Because people just don't talk about what happened in that house. They talk about what they've seen since. The Jersey Devil isn't some vague shadow. People describe it in very specific ways. Wings, long thin body, hooves, and a head that's usually described as something like a horse, but not quite. And that not quite part puts it in that space where your brain tries to categorize it and can't. And then there's the sound. People say it screams, but not like an animal you recognize. Not a fox, not a bird, something that almost sounds human, but completely off. And here's the part that's hard to ignore. These descriptions stay consistent across decades, across different people, across different times, which raises the question, why? In January of 1909, everything escalates. This wasn't just a few scattered stories anymore. There were hundreds of sightings in a single week. People claimed they saw the creature, flying over rooftops. Others reported its strange tracks in the snow. Hoofprints that didn't make sense. Some even said the tracks went up the walls and then just stopped, as if for whatever made them just kind of like took off. Livestock were found injured, strange noises reported at night, and the fear spread fast. Schools shut down, factories closed, people stayed inside. And this wasn't isolated to one area. This was happening across New Jersey and even into Pennsylvania. Now, mass hysteria is a real thing, but this was organized fear, widespread, and very, very specific. And the strangest part is, it never really stopped. Even today, people still report seeing something in those woods. Not every day, not even every year, but just enough to keep the story alive. Hikers talk about hearing something move when nothing should be there. People driving through the Pine Barrens at night report shapes crossing the road too fast to identify. And every once in a while, someone claims they heard it. That same scream. So at what point does something stop being just a story and actually start becoming something people are experiencing? So let's try to make sense of it. The logical explanation is misidentified animals. Deer can look strange in low light, birds can make horrifying sounds, and when your brain is already on edge, it fills in the gaps. Another possibility is mass hysteria. A story gets passed around and people start seeing what they expect to see. But here's the problem. Mass hysteria usually changes over time. Details shift, stories evolve, but this stays weirdly consistent. And then there's the explanation no one likes to talk about at all. That maybe this is just something we don't understand. Not a demon, not a myth, just something that exists out there in a place where most people don't spend enough time to notice. The Pine Barrens are still there, unchanged in many ways, still quiet, still massive, still full of places you could disappear into without anyone ever knowing. So whether the Jersey Devil is real or just one of the most persistent legends in American folklore, something about that story has never gone away. And maybe that's the part that should bother you the most. So be honest. Would you go walking into the Pine Barrens at night? Alone? Because I already know I'm not.